Big hits delivered by Caps defense. Another flag thrown. Unless that's the same one, because there's a flag that was back at the 20. The official picked it up and then threw it again. And then there's another flag down on the 40-yard line. So potentially 2 penalties coming against Capital here. Yeah. Two pushes called against Capital. Number 7, Dylan Camella, and number 28, Jonathan Kilgallen, picking up the penalties here. John Carroll up 5-0. And a timeout. Oh, the shot clock needs a reset, so not a timeout. We'll restart as the shot clock was showing 80, but did not run during that sequence of passing. So here we go. John Carroll, who's up with 8 shots already, 2 goals from Skylar Blake and 2 from Matt Berdziak, leading the offense. Blake, shot saved there off the stick of Kevin Hack. Reset of the shot clock. Capital is good to go in terms of the man down situation for 1 penalty. And now the second. So Capital kills off 2 men down, but just as the penalties end, a goal is scored by the Blue Streaks. That is number 88 for John Carroll. Ian Flynn with his 3rd goal of the season. And it is 6-0 John Carroll. Can't say we expected this coming in, but John Carroll is running through Capital right now. Some of these goals, as we apologize for the stream being down for a few minutes here, some of these goals have just been quick strike attacks, counter attacks. They scored 2 goals in the first minute off of 2 face-off wins. And after getting punched in the mouth there, Capital has not responded to this point. 6-0 John Carroll. And hopefully we can turn this thing around here soon. Capital has generated a little bit of offense. Brendan Whitty, by the way, is the points leader in the OAC, and he really hasn't gotten involved at all. He has an assist on the 6 goals, and that's it. He leads the OAC in that statistic with 12. So that's kind of scary. John Carroll wins the faceoff again here. And Capital is still kind of reeling here, trying to figure out a plan of attack. John Carroll has controlled most of the game here in terms of possession. Shots, they're up 10-2. And they haven't turned it over yet either. Just as I say that, they almost do. Excellent job to keep that in play by Skylar Blake, the leading goal scorer in the OAC currently. And trying to add to that total, him and Hughes came in tied with 7 each. We have a lot of fans in the building today. We thank everyone who made the trip. You got a lot of fans up on the fence line as well, which is becoming kind of a new thing here. Nice move from the X, and a wraparound goal scored again. Morgan Morrell with his 2nd of the season. It is 7-0 Blue Streaks. John Carroll won their first game this season against Heidelberg 32-1. After that game, they suffered a tough loss to Baldwin Wallace last weekend. And Capital is facing a mean John Carroll team here today that is angry and trying to atone for their earlier loss to Baldwin Wallace. They were predicted to win this conference in the coaches' poll. And it's usually these 2 teams towards the top. I said this in our last broadcast. Capital hasn't lost a OAC game since 2018. There's a big-time hit delivered by Mork. Whistles blow. Are they going to call a penalty? No, they're going to give Capital the ball. What a hit delivered by Mork, and hopefully that turns something around. Pontier comes out, the captain in the midfield, and calls out the instructions to Hughes on the far end. Hughes now passes off to Scharner behind the net. To Mork. Mork out in front, bounces it wide. Crowd trying to help out. John Gaglio, the sophomore, in net today for John Carroll. Hauser opposing him, who came in today with the OAC lead in save percentage as Gaglione makes a save, but then throws it away. So Cap gets it right back. And the crowd urging on the Crusaders here. John Carroll came in numbers too. We actually have a really good attendance here today. Scharner from behind the X again. Pop out in front, and John Carroll finally succeeds one. A goal for the Crusaders. And Capital strikes first from Jonathan Kilgallen.
Number 28, Jonathan Kilgallen.
So Cap breaks through, and let's see if that leads to more here now. Harris initially wins the faceoff. Cap will keep it and then take it away again. Hughes now with a takedown from behind. Another flag thrown and a penalty called against the Crusaders. CJ Hughes will head to the penalty area once again. .30-second technical, I believe, is going to be the call here against Hughes. Timeout called by John Carroll. It's 7-1. Capitals on the board, but John Carroll looks to be on the man-up advantage here as we head to a timeout. 5:52 to play, first quarter. We'll be right back. So as we're back from timeout, CJ Hughes was assessed 2 penalties actually. One for the push, and then the other was for offsides, saying that Hughes came over the line and made contact with the player. I don't see that, but here we go. Another man down opportunity. John Carroll has been lethal, but a lot of their goals have come in the kind of fast-paced environment, counter-attacks and things of that nature. And Capital's defense has an opportunity to kind of sit down here. They killed off a 2-man up advantage earlier, but they won't kill off this. Another goal scored by the Blue Streaks. They're on pace for more than 32, which was their season high in their opener. This one is scored by Brandon Whitty, who I mentioned had not been in on the action much. Even though he has 12 assists this season in 2 games, now he scored a goal to go along with an assist today, and Whitty's getting just fine in on the action now. Harris with the initial poke of the faceoff, but it is controlled by John Carroll. Clayton Karam again comes away with the GB there for the Blue Streaks. A lot of frustration on that Capital sideline. You can just see body language-wise. They are looking for some momentum to switch this thing around. Matt Berdziak, the big target behind the net at the X. Look at the size on this guy. Berdziak passing it off. Extra pass. Shot and score. Skylar Blake again. That's 3 for Blake in 10 minutes and some change. 9-1, John Carroll. They are not stopping. They've nearly scored a goal a minute at this point, and they continue to pile it on. False start called against Harris on the faceoff, so that'll be another win for John Carroll, who does have a new faceoff man in there, Josh Plar. And now a legal procedure called against John Carroll, so that's an unforced error. Huge turnover. And let's see if Cap can turn this thing around now. John Carroll makes a quick sub in the defensive midfield. Pelton will come on for Pontieri this time. And Capital to the attack. Pelton. Kilgallen, the only goal scorer for Cap so far. Behind the net to Scharner, who has been active. He does have the assist on the goal earlier. Tries to find Kilgallen again. He gets taken down hard. And the defense from John Carroll just gets it back to the keeper. That was Alexander Sikas. Playing it back there to his goalkeeper Gaglio, who has been active out of the box here. And a good clear for the Blue Streaks, who communicate some substitutions. So they'll get their midfield set up, and they will go to work now offensively. Josh Plar, who just won that faceoff, is in there now in the midfield. Johnny Wilson, the third, also checks in. Just his second game played. He did miss one game earlier this season. Plar, head fake, pass back to the right. That's Jared Gorenflow, and he's unable to finish, but Gorenflow gets his own miss. And he'll get it back to the midfield, senior Plar. 3 minutes to play, first quarter. It's 9-1. John Carroll on top. Capital going to have to claw their way back into this game, but first they got to focus on just slowing down this John Carroll offense. A broken stick here for Cap. Big save made by Hauser. It's tipped around. It's loose, and coming away with it is Berdziak. Capital had to make a substitution as the stick broke from one of their defenders. Drew Bolin had to run off in the midfield, and fortunately they got a swap out to not go down a man or anything on this attack. Back-to-back weeks with a stick breaking on a defender here for Cap. You don't really see that often. 45 seconds on the shot clock. They did get a reset after that scramble on the ground ball. Berdziak from the X, and he'll just pop one over to the midfield. They'll continue to work it around. Gorenflow has it now. Back to the left. That's a shot from Tanner Gill Snow, was in there, not Wilson the third. My mistake on the number there. A shot from Gill Snow goes wide. Blake will restart it. Takes a shot out of a double team, and that's an easy scoop for Hauser, who then sends it blindly upfield. That ball is still loose. Mork and Hughes fighting for it. John Carroll gets it. And then a turnover there, trying to go quickly on the counterattack. It was thrown away by Brandon Hine. So Cap with a chance now at the end of the sequence here to do something with their possession. 1:17 on the game clock, 68 seconds on the shot clock. So this will virtually be the end of the first quarter. If they can steal one here before the end of the quarter and just reset, you're not going to come back from 8-goal deficit all at once. So you just got to keep it simple, a few minutes at a time, and just keep winning segments of the game. That's the focus right now. Hughes can get hot in a hurry. He gives it over to Scharner. Scharner into the midfield. Shot and a score for Capital, just what they need. Was that Camella?
Senior number 7, Dylan Camella.
It was Camella. Dylan Camella with the goal. The senior with his second of the season. In there in the midfield. Usually more of a defensive midi, but they put him in the offensive attack, and he responds. Good battle in the face-off circle here. Now push called against John Carroll as Ian Bernard was in the face-off circle. That was his first face-off he's taken this season. It's going to go as a loss. Now an illegal procedure called against Cap, just like it was called against John Carroll earlier. With 20 seconds left in the quarter, it turns into a huge mistake, and a goal scored by John Carroll. Kevin Hack, again, just pushing that tempo, and Capital has not been able to respond to the tempo. Coach Marzano taking a walk down the sideline here, trying to figure out an adjustment to make here. This is going to be a heated conversation in between quarters. 10-2, John Carroll making a statement to the OAC here today with the performance against the Crusaders in this first quarter. They get the face-off win with 15 seconds left. Camella has it. He didn't cleanly catch it. Here come the Blue Streaks. This is where they've been most dangerous. And they're coming down hard on Hauser. They score with 3 seconds left. No, he stepped in the circle. That is a huge break for Capital. Berdziak had a goal, but it doesn't count. And that'll be the end of the quarter. 10-2 is the score. Capital will congregate around their coach and try to find some answers here as we head into the second quarter. We'll be right back. Well, let's see how Capital responds here. Fresh quarter and a new start in this game. Faceoffs have been okay, 6 of 12 each way, but shots favoring John Carroll 18-6. They have 4 more ground ball pickups, 2 less turnovers, 5 less penalties. And it's 10-2 in favor of the Blue Streaks. Harris will try to win the faceoff here for Capital and start things off the right way. Camella getting involved with Harris, who digs free. Then Camella runs into his own teammate, and now John Carroll has it. And this is where they've been dangerous, a give and go, and a shot that goes wide. And Capital's going to get possession. Ian Vennard trying to score a quick one there. Pelton has it for the Crusaders. He gets across the offensive zone. I mentioned coming into this, both teams, in terms of goal scores, were number 1 in the conference, 41 apiece. And obviously one team's offense has been there today, and Capital's offense can be very streaky, as we've seen at times. They can go quite cold, but at other times they can score a lot in a hurry, and we need one of those sprees right now. Chasing 8. Again, though, one at a time and keep chipping away. Has to be your theory here. That last one at the end of the quarter by John Carroll, that one kind of hurt as Capital gave it away with an illegal procedure. Hughes. Oh, nice save. That was a low shot headed for the 5-hole, and Gaglio got down in time to make the save on one of the best snipers in the OAC. Easy clear over to Brandon Whitty now. Skylar Blake has 3 goals to lead the way for the Blue Streaks. He's number 57, positioned to the bottom left, just off the screen here. John Carroll making some subs in the midfield. And they will go to the attack now. Ian Flynn, the last one on there. And he's playing way back at midfield right now. That's him all the way up there. Flynn has it on the pass from Bennett Gorman. Flynn setting up, and a shot by Kevin Hack is taken high. 30 seconds on the shot clock, 33 to be exact. Now down to 20. It's controlled by Hack, who has been active, especially at the start of this game. Couple of points for him in this one. Hack setting up Gorman. Gorman now to Flynn. Top shelf. That's a snipe. No chance for Hauser. And just a beautiful rip right below the pipe. And a goal scored by the Blue Streaks. More of the same here in quarter number 2. Ian Flynn with the goal. And at 12:34 to play in the first half, it's a 9-goal lead for the Blue Streaks. Well, this is an eye-opening game here for Capital. It is exposing a lot. And if you're going to have a game like this early in the year, it's probably the best time for it. So you can make some adjustments throughout the season. These two teams are, again, favored to win this conference. And with Baldwin Wallace already beating John Carroll by a 10-9 score, they allowed less goals in the entire game than Capital allowed in the first quarter. So that shows you where Cap may be at with some of these top teams in the conference. And Cap, see how they respond. This is going to say a lot about this team here, how they can turn this game around. Pontier trying to find Scharner, backing it up. A shot off the side of the net from Mork. And John Carroll will get possession now. Like Harris, you can hear him yelling down there. That's the face-off man trying to rally the troops here. Capital plays Baldwin Wallace later this season. It's actually the last game of the year here at Bernlohr on the 24th, April 24th, part of a doubleheader for the Crusaders. And fortunately, they'll have a lot of time to prepare for that one. But there's going to be a lot of tape used from this game to address some weaknesses, and Cap just needs to address some things defensively. They get a steal here. Hunter Nip then gets dumped, and Cap's closest to it. I thought they were. I guess not. It's going to stay with John Carroll as Nip had possession of it last. So they rule it as a turnover. Under 11 minutes to play. Capital's defense, again, they have been better in these situations where they've been able to kind of sit down and settle things. It's the tempo that John Carroll's pushing that has been the problem for Capital. Shot, and Hauser saves it. Hits him right in the chest. And can't just shoot it right at the goalie there if you're Colin Zarek, but he did. And now John Carroll takes it away at midfield. Moore can't believe it. Straight to the net and taking a shot. It went backwards out of the stick there of Morgan Morrell, trying to finish it himself. Behind the net to Skylar Blake, who has been nothing short of sensational in the first quarter and 5 minutes of this game. Defense has stepped up for Cap. Now it's on to this offensive attack, and just as I say that, John Carroll gets a goal from Colin Zarek. So I mentioned Zarek on the last sequence there, can't shoot it right at Hauser. That time he moved it around a little bit, and he finds the back of the cage. 12-2, John Carroll. You could hear us just silence on the left side of the field here from Capital, and John Carroll cooing a little bit on the right side. But the fans are quiet, and the team is even quieter for Capital. This is not a team that's used to being down by 10 goals, I tell you that. Lake Harris wins the faceoff. Capital, Sharner intercepted. John Carroll comes away with it. Capital hasn't lost in the OAC regular season since 2018. They went 9-0 in 2019. They didn't play last year in OAC play. And their last loss here in OAC regular season was against Ohio Northern on April 28th of 2018. Capital lost to John Carroll that season 13-9 by just 4 goals. That was the largest differential in a loss in 2018. Flags fly, a goal scored again by John Carroll. That one's going to count, and the flag is against Capital's midfield. I believe that's Doc Cremel who's headed to the box. 13-2, John Carroll. Goal scored by Brandon Whitty. They're going to call Cremel for a 1-minute penalty here. The last time Capital lost the game by more than a goal was back against John Carroll in the OAC tournament in 2018. Again, John Carroll defeated them 19-6. That is the last double-digit loss that Cap has had. Flags fly as Capital goes to the deck, and that is going to be a 5-on-5 situation now. That 19-6 score, as I'm cycling through all of the Crusaders' history here, I think that's their biggest loss. They lost 11-2 back in 2015 and 16-2 against Southwestern Texas in 2014, the first year of the program. So that's the worst loss that they've had, 14 goals. And hopefully today doesn't turn into that game. Cap has the possession here, 5-on-5, and they need to get something going now. Hughes gets it behind the net over to Montgomery. Sharner heads to the top of the goal crease. Kilgallen, he scores again. So Cap scores even strength. That gets the biggest applause of the day here for Cap. We're back down 10 and just got to keep chipping away at it.
Sophomore number 28, Jonathan Kilgallen.
Kilgallen has looked good in the last few games here for Cap. Harris to the face-off circle again. It'll be against Ian Vennard, who is in his first action in the face-off circle. Procedure called against Vennard already. That's interesting. Harris to Hughes. High catch made by Hughes. And a chance for Cap to make it take it here. Both teams are back to full strength. Mork behind the net. Dancing around. And John Carroll takes it away. Gangland gets it up the field quickly now. This is where they've been on the attack today, on these counter situations, stopping this pressure. They wind up. They take a shot. It's wide. Bennett Gorman on the rip there. Blake was closest to it. And now Blake has bad intentions in mind, and he scores. Skylar Blake might be on his way to OAC Player of the Year. He has been phenomenal scoring goals this season for the Blue Streaks. And he puts them back up by 11, 14-3. And back to silence here at Bernlohr with 7:28 to play midway through the second quarter. And there's no signs of this slowing down. And John Carroll isn't going to slow down. Like I said, they've scored 32 goals this season in one of their games already. And these two teams have exchanged OAC tournament wins and knocked each other out of OAC tournaments in the past. Met in the championships. So these programs do go back quite a bit. And they're for lack of a better term, they're not going to slow down. They are going to score as many goals as they can score on this Capital team. And Cap has to be ready to respond. Lake Harris, I'll give him credit. He came to play today. There's no doubt about that. He has been a loose cannon on the field. He's 11 for 17, now 11 for 18 in the face-off circle, as a procedure is called against John Carroll on the substitutions there. Now the officials are getting together. And they say there's an illegal possession or legal procedure. The ball got stuck in the stick, they say, against Capital. So John Carroll will get possession out of here. Capital will be able to relax and get back into their defensive system at least. as we're nearing the under 7 mark. Playing keep away in the midfield are the Blue Streaks. Plar, and a shot will reset the shot clock. Capital will not be able to get to that one first, as it's collected by Jared Garinflo. And behind the net it goes. Continuing to pass it around. John Carroll just settling down with it in the offensive zone. Plar from the X throws it away. Back to midfield it goes. And they're going to call over and back there against John Carroll. So Capital gets possession, as stepping over the line was the defense from John Carroll, number 10, Charlie Shaver. So Cap gets the stop they need. Now they need to continue to score. I said the defense had settled down, and I guess they have, considering they allowed 10 in the first. But John Carroll's already put up a 4 spot here in the second, too. Cap, meanwhile, has just 3 goals all game, and they need to wake up here. Manning has it, passing it off into the midfield. Some new faces out there as Luke McClellan joins the attack. McClellan to Hughes. Hughes. They're going to call an illegal screen there against McClellan. They don't like the way the shoulder was stuck out. I just heard that from the official talking to Hughes, providing that explanation. And John Carroll will continue to work some clock. I said they're not going to slow down, but they can use a little bit of the clock here, being up by 11. Capital has a good offense. They can easily, I don't want to say easily, but they can come back in this game. They have enough firepower to come back and score with this John Carroll team. So using some clock for the Blue Streaks isn't the worst idea. Capital gets a big steal from Montgomery, who's being hounded from behind by Gorman. He throws on the brakes, and Capital again continuing to cycle who they're going to use. A collision there between Crummell and one of the John Carroll players trying to sub in. That was interesting. John Carroll's assistant coaching staff working the official there. Kilgallen working around, almost tripping, passes it to Sharner, front of the net. Mork, his shot was low and saved by Gaglio, who's been fantastic in net today for the Blue Streaks. He makes yet another save, his 4th. All of them have been really good saves. And now a shot, and again, top shelf. They go up top and beat the goalie Hauser. That's Matt Berdziak. With 3:54 to play, it's 15-3, John Carroll. This is easily the most goals that Capital has allowed in a half in the program's history, and you just don't expect to say things like that with how good this program has been, but this is just one of those games where they cannot get out of their own way. And John Carroll has come in like a buzzsaw, again, just letting out some frustration from losing to Baldwin Wallace last weekend. They came in with new focus, and they are playing some of the best lacrosse I think I've ever seen in the OAC. And that is not a statement I say lightly. Sometimes you just have to tip your hat to the other team just making plays. And that's exactly what John Carroll has done, executing their game plan to perfection. Cap just trying to hang around in this game and keep it close enough to come back from. Hauser makes a great save here. And now Pontier will come in for the Crusaders. The pass goes into the midfield. Here come the Crusaders now on the counter. They'll slow things down. Good control there from Alex Keckler. He had to turn around and make a difficult catch, and now gets off the field for Kilgallen and Aiden Manning to go to work. 2:42 to play. Manning behind the net. Hughes to Sharner. Sharner trying to find something at the front of the cage. Mork's there. Whistles blow, and yep, Mork stepped in the circle. I saw it. Didn't want it to be called, obviously, but yeah, that's the right call. John Carroll once again slowing the tempo down, which is interesting. They've been better at the high tempo, but again, I can see why they would slow things down given the score line right now of 15-3. 2 minutes to play in the half. 44 on the shot clock. Assuming Cap gets a stop here, you'd want them to keep pushing because they really can't afford to just let a minute get away with the deficit at 12 goals. A shot, and Hauser's beat. Ethan, Reed Schureller with the goal on the other side. That is his first goal of the season. He's played just 2 games. He missed a game earlier this season. Reed Stuhlriller with the goal. And it's 16-3, John Carroll. Harris wins the faceoff back to Carmel. 1:26 to play. And again, Cap could hold for the last possession here, but I think they're going to continue to try to score and get the ball back again. And they're going to have to be pretty much perfect in the faceoff circle from here on out. Sharner attacking for Cap. Passes it off to Mork. Mork standing behind the cage. Passing off. Shot from Camella. Oh, it's underneath the goalkeeper. And Gaglio just picks it up. Well, that doesn't help when they're getting all the breaks, too. That one hit Gaglio, and he didn't know where it was. And it was literally right below his legs on the goal line, but did not cross it. 35 seconds for the Blue Streaks now. Timeout called by the Blue Streaks as Cam Kessier slows it down for the Blue Streaks. They'll have 26 seconds to try to add one on to what has been a dominant first half performance for John Carroll at 16-3. We'll wrap up the first half in just a minute.
Fans, as a reminder, the Capitol Center will close at the start of the third quarter. So if you need the restroom, please plan accordingly.
26 seconds remain in the first half of play. It's been all John Carroll. And Capital, we'll see if we see a new team here in half number 2. Not literally, but obviously metaphorically a different team and one that can run with this John Carroll team. Blake has it. He has been the man today with 4 goals and an assist in the first half. A shot here gets blocked. It comes back out to Garinflo. There's only 3 seconds left. The shot gets blocked again. Scooted to midfield, and Capital holds at the end of the half, but it's 16-3 John Carroll, and some adjustments are going to have to be made here by Capital. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the second half. We'll be right back.
Fans, as a reminder, the Capitol Center will close at the start of the third quarter, so please use the restrooms before so. Also, please do not congregate in the stands. Please return to the seat that you have chosen for the first half, and remember to please sit on the blue X's. Again, please do not congregate in the walkways. Please return to your seats. Thank you.
I know they prayed on my downfall. I know they prayed on my downfall. On R10, yeah, I stood tall. They so disloyal, show them how to ball. Go get a thermometer for the pot. I need this beer cooked right. Let's keep that water 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You ever been inside a federal courtroom? Homie, you ever went to trial and fought for your life? Being broke did something to my spirit. Ain't so many deployed me, they act like they couldn't hear me. Look at me now, driving German engineering. You don't want your baby mama keep them near me. Kilroy. Remember when I used to use your L's to hit the road, hit the O and make them big boy sales? Move. Remember when you had them green things made with vacuum seals, trying not to have them green things smell? Feds was on me. What you know about related to money? I don't know nothing. I just used to see them walk to the county. I be with women. My body count go from Persian to Cody. Any further questions, you can take that up with the lawyer. I hit up Finkel J Money. Brimo Low Project Joe will tell you every day before school I sold a half boat. How you think I won best dress with no support? And had them paid lawyers coming in and out of court. Hey, Wando. Hey, Theo, ain't it a blessing? We made it out Kentucky after all that happened. After the pre-trials, after the status, after them impact statements, after the castle. Hey, JR, ain't it a blessing? We made it out of Lansing after all that happened. After Michigan State, after Hubbard, when our mans told on us, the bands they took from us. Joy Road, put the money loaded 6 mile, brick mile, knock your down, pick her up, knock her back down, pull her tracks out. Yes, I slap girl, yes, I slap dog, yes, I slap loud. Yes, I slap them in his mans if they act out. Yes, I call cases on the road with them hitters, bro. Off me if I snitch, cause if you snitch, I'm gon' hit you. Spent a lot of time on the yard with them gorillas, stood tall, ain't let nobody touch me, quit being silly. I know for a fact your chick can make a mess for my dogs, cause we do it better, plus we do it better than y'all. I'm at home when I'm down there in Lexington, dog. Got the pig, they gon' drop you in, who next to you, dog? I'm saying Lil T, get ahead of them boys. When you take off, don't look back and try to rescue them boys. I got this man's to make sure you get the rest of them boys. Don't let them get the best of you, just get the revenue, boy. So let me know what you can handle. Okay, come grab it. Here goes some extra, so if I'm busy, you can manage. Things happen, blade dancing, me and $60 salary. To get it there and back, tell the feds I need a challenge. My first offer was 30 years, not a day low. Told the prosecutor, holler at me when she saw, bro, on parole. I'm a fella, you think I ain't got that blower? Yeah, you right, bro. Take his whole head off his shoulders. You hear me? Hit the rollie start with the rollie on. Who was our getaway car, Jag portfolio? You hear me? Hey, I heard I had some sneak dishes. Whoever feeling hot, that AR got a heat sensor. Cuz said don't entertain them hungry bums. I wish I would pay attention to these homeless bums. Don't call my phone, I don't want to do no sober nothing.
And as a reminder, as you're returning to your seats, please do not congregate in the walkways, and please return to your seats where you were in the first half on the blue X's. Thank you.
Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see. Catch them bad, walk down, face them with the heat. The devil under your feet, you on your way to sin. Stress me when I can't sleep, bang on I sleep. Play with me, you can't sleep, we got into the seat. You won't have no case when you're at your shit soon as they face you. You won't have no space when you're your sex until we spray you. Show man some, they coming on. Soon as they close the door, walk down. They say we did it, so we not coming on.
Well, Cap's got some new energy here as we begin the second half, and let's see if it translates into anything out there on the field. There is some fired up players down there, and let's see how this team responds. This could be a blessing in disguise to have a game like this so early in the season against such a quality opponent. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Harris has been the best Crusader today. He's 12 for 20 in the faceoff circle. He has brought the most energy just from an optical standpoint. We'll see if he can start something here and fire it up for the Crusaders. Face off with Bernard. And that one goes flying into the air. And it's collected by Carroll. And, oh, there's a shove thrown. That's going to be a flag against the Blue Streaks. And that's an undisciplined play there by Clayton Karam. Carroll was on top of him, and Carroll was just trying to get up. And Karam just took him and kind of shoved him after he got up. And that's a 1 minute unnecessary roughness call against John Carroll, and that could be the spark that Capital needs here to start things off in the second half. Another penalty in this game. That's now 8. 6 have been for the Crusaders, however. Caps goal scorers, Jonathan Kilgallen had 2 and Dylan Camella had 1. CJ Hughes has been held to just 2 shots in this game. Keep an eye on 42. Pontier, Pelton, working it down now. Another fresh face out there for Capital. A shot here, save. Is the shot taken? A low save dug up by John Carroll in net. And I believe the Blue Streaks have made a change in net. Yeah, they have. Adam Grant is getting the action here in the second half. Grant makes the save. He has played in both games for the Blue Streaks. Him and Gaglio have kind of switched. So that's interesting. Let's see if Cap can fare any better against Grant. Grant's made 2 good saves already on the man down. Fresh shot clock for the Crusaders. Time running out on the man-up advantage here. It is now released. A shot taken wide, and closest to it is Grant, the goalkeeper. So Grant will hustle upfield here. This is certainly not a statement that Gaglio didn't play well. He played extremely well in this game as flags are thrown against Capital now. Too many penalties in this game. So the Blue Streaks have a free possession and then a flag coming at the end of it. Blue Streaks will work it around to Bennett Gorman. Gorman towards the front of the cage. He's hacked away from it. Quick passing to get it over to Blake. 4 goals on 8 shots for Blake in this game. And he gets another pass here and a goal scored. Kevin Hack sets it up with the pitch pass over to Blake, who dumps it in low and beats Hauser for the goal. The penalty for Capital was an offside called. It has been negated by the goal. It was Jake Belt who had been offsides there. They're going to give it on him in that substitution pattern. It's really a team penalty there. And John Carroll continues their dominance. They're now up 17-3. They win a face-off here. It's Bernard. He's been not shy about taking shots out of the face-off. But Bernard will do the wise thing here and get it off to Blake and get off the field. I don't think there's any way John Carroll came into this game expecting this result even on their side of things. They're slowing down their offensive attack once again here. They've had 9 players score a goal in this game. But they don't score this sequence, at least. Capital gets it over to C.J. Hughes. Camella in the midfield. Kilgallen out there as well. And here's Montgomery. Montgomery flings it to the weak side, and Grant goes up and makes the save. In transition, here come the Blue Streaks. Just beautiful passing. And once again, John Carroll scores on a counter with Skylar Blake. Just 3 quick passes, and that's all it took.
Goal, John Carroll, number 57, Skylar Blake.
Skylar Blake now with 6 goals and 7 points in this game. The Blue Streaks are good, and they lost their last game, remember, to Baldwin Wallace. So obviously there's going to be some quality there, and I'd love to see kind of more of what happened in that game with Baldwin Wallace. Because this counterattack, Capitals had no response for these quick strike pass shot in transition when they're trying to get their defense set up. When the defense has been set up, I mean, John Carroll has scored. Obviously, you're not going to throw a shutout in any kind of game. But it's these situations where they're scrambling, and they do it again. It's just been all day. Brandon Whitty finishes this one. But again, it's just 3 quick passes, and Capitals scrambling to match up, and their passing has been so good that it's just allowing easy goal after easy goal. And Hauser, some of these have just been really good shots that he didn't have a chance at, and that was another one right there. They've beaten him high quite a bit in this one, though, too, and I don't know if that's something they've been scouting or what's going on there. But he's been beat upstairs quite a bit. Capital gets the offensive situation here now. Sharner buying time for that midfield to crash the net. 19-3. Hughes takes a shot that got kicked away by Grant. And it's going to go the other way for John Carroll. John Carroll scored 19 against the Crusaders back in 2018. The Crusaders have never allowed 20 goals in a game, and that mark is probably going to be reached today. Hughes will get the ground ball here on a failed clear for John Carroll, who's now 12 for 14. We're midway through the third quarter almost, and Capitals had just 6 clearance opportunities this entire game. That's how many times John Carroll has scored. They're 5 for 6. Montgomery passing over to Kilgallen, who tips it towards his teammate Brandon Pontier. Flags go flying. And that is the 9th penalty, technically 10, but one was negated by a goal. And man up opportunity coming for Capital. It looks like it's going to be against John Carroll's number 77, Clayton Karam again. 1 minute cross check is the call. And actually, is it Karam that they got there, or is it Jack Caress? Looks like Karam will take the knee. So he had the last penalty for John Carroll. He gets another penalty now. And a man-up opportunity for Cap. Sharner Back to Pelton. His shot high. Save made by Grant. That would have been over the cage anyway.
Penalty was John Carroll, number 77, cross-checking, 1 minute.
And John Carroll, while a man down now, will go to the attack. And likely just kind of sit on it here to kill off the penalty. Skylar Blake with an 8-point day, 6 goals and 2 assists. And Brandon Whitty, Matt Berdziak also have hat tricks in this game. 3 goals apiece for each of them. You can hear the countdown in the background there as they count off the rest of the penalty. And now, John Carroll is back to full strength. Pass to the front of the cage. Berdziak goes high and scores again. That's 20. That is the most goals ever allowed by the Crusaders. And we still have 23 minutes left in this game. Berdziak with his 4th goal of the game. C.J. Hughes and Skylar Blake came into this game each with 7 goals. C.J. Hughes has 7 goals still this season. Skylar Blake now has 13. And becomes now with Berdziak the second player to score more than 3 goals in this game for John Carroll, while Capital has put up 3 as a team. John Carroll on the attack once again. Blake has it for the Blue Streaks. Berdziak gets it back into the midfield. Plar getting it back. Plar fakes a shot, takes one high, and beats Hauser again. (21-3), the Blue Streaks.
Blue Streaks goal, number 12, Josh Plar.
Josh Plar gets the goal. He becomes yet another goal scorer for the Blue Streaks in this game. I am somewhat speechless. This is not expected at all from this Capital team. Expected this to be a tight, close game, and it has been anything but. It's been like one of those games that we saw last time when Capital was all over Heidelberg. I'm sorry, that might have been Marietta last game. Heidelberg was the women's game, played on Wednesday. My mistake there. But Capital had a pretty easy, smooth sailing game against Marietta 2 times ago out. Their first game of the year against Wilmington was one of those kind of games. And you don't look at the John Carroll Capital game as one of those types of OAC games. And John Carroll's bench continuing to make some noise here. And this is just kind of a shock, and it's definitely going to send a message to the rest of the OAC. And I think it speaks more about John Carroll than it does Capital of just how good this offense is. Scharner trying to eat into the deficit. Hughes back to Scharner. Scharner too high for the pass in front of the cage. It's collected by Cap. Hughes has it now with 28 to shoot. Back to McClellan. McClellan now to Montgomery. Montgomery up the far hash. To the front of the cage. Hughes trying to backhand scoop it in, and it's saved again by Grant. And here comes the counter now for the Blue Streaks. Blake will slow it down. And they're taking their time now, setting up. Bennett Gorman and Kevin Hack leading this midfield attack. Ian Flynn out there as well. Flynn. Hack. To Gorman now. Blake, his pass got knocked away. And that's going to stay here with John Carroll. Under 5 minutes to play in the third. Blake. Behind the net now it goes. Berdziak has it. Each of their 3 attackers with at least 3 goals. In this game, they've had 13 combined from their attack. And a goal scored from the midfield this time. And Capital's going to make some changes defensively and changing out goalies as well. Sam McInturf will check in as the goalkeeper now, as Ben Hauser has a day to forget for sure here. And not all of it's his fault, but he was the OAC Player of the Week last week. And just not his day today. Get some high fives from his teammates, keeping his head up. And Cap will make some changes defensively as well. I saw a couple of new faces out there as a face-off is going to be awarded to Cap here. Number 35, Jaden Kaznowski checks back in. Number 12, Dom Rocco will check in for the first time, and Jack Conley is out there for the Crusaders as well. Still the same attacking line out there for Cap. And Sam McInturf, I mentioned, is the new goalkeeper. This will be his first action of the season. And Capital gets a goal. So the Crusaders are on the board for the first time in the third quarter.
Goal. Number 47, Brendan Pelton.
Pelton gets the goal, and at least Cap is able to get something back here. The new goalkeeper, Sam McInturf, a sophomore out of Lewis Center, Ohio. In 2020, he played 5 games and was the main goalkeeper for the Crusaders. Had an 11.48 goals against average with 48 saves and a 53% save percentage. Went 2-2. And obviously now getting his first playing time here this season. Cap wins another face-off meanwhile, and see what they can do on the attack. This is Dylan Weissman running around with it. Weissman gets tripped, loses it. Pelton kicking away at it. It's still loose. Lots of scrambling action for it. That's going to be a penalty against Cap. That is their 7th penalty. And in that scramble, it was assumed something was going to get called for sure there. Holding called against Pelton, the goal scorer. And we're going the other way now. Man up for John Carroll.
Penalty on Capital number 47, holding 30 seconds.
So a quick 30-second man-up opportunity for the Blue Streaks, and they score just like that. 5 seconds go off the clock there. And a goal scored by the Blue Streaks, and it's Blake again. Actually, 14 seconds. Let me correct that. But Blake scores his 7th goal of the game. And that John Carroll bench is fired up, and it's a tale of two different teams right now. You look over at the Capital bench, and there's a lot of frustration. You look over at the John Carroll bench, and they are fired up, man. John Carroll back to the attack. They lead by 19, 23-4. .48 on the shot clock. Plenty of time for John Carroll, but they have definitely slowed down their attack this sequence here. Blake calling for it behind the net. Another flag goes flying, and at this point, how many more can there be? This is going to be the 8th penalty for Cap. If it's not wiped out by a goal, and that one goes high. Could be a flag on that hit. There's that. Josh Plara goes down hard. And this could be 2 penalties against Cap. Remember, they had 7 on the board. 1 is wiped away by a goal that was scored, so they could have 8. And this is going to be 2 penalties against Capital. This is the second time they've had 2 in the box together. So 17 and 18 into the box. That is Cody Colon and Doc Crummell. So up 2 men. John Carroll for the second time today. They didn't score in the last one. And a save made by McInturf in net. His first save of the season. His clearance attempt, though, is taken out of the air by Kevin Hack, who has had a 5-point day himself. Pass goes over to Bennett Gorman, who finishes it for John Carroll. 24-4. They are not slowing down whatsoever. And all the credit to John Carroll. Whatever game plan they had coming into this one, clearly it was the right game plan. Capital losing the next faceoff. Both penalties are released, so they're back to full strength, even though they had 2 in the box. Doesn't work like hockey there, where the 1 would still stay in. 1:35 to play. We are still a whole nother quarter to go in this one. John Carroll, who scored 32 in their first game this season, is on pace for that in this one. And they have not made any changes to their front line. Blake is still in there with his 7 goals and 9 points, and another goal scored. McInturf beat. Reed Stuhlrayer again with his 2nd of the game. And that's actually 3 for him on the season. I think I mentioned he scored his first.
24, Reed Stuhlrayer.
Not the day Capital was dreaming of here in this one. It's 25-4.
1 minute remaining in the quarter.
John Carroll will go back to the attack. Women's lacrosse is in action against John Carroll themselves. That game has not yet gotten underway. I should say they're in action today. And hopefully we can get some revenge on the Blue Streaks there. 25 seconds left in the quarter. John Carroll letting it run down a little bit here. And another shot saved by McInturf. McInturf slashes away at it. 8 seconds left. Wide open net. 4 seconds. McInturf gets in front, but not in time. Another goal scored by the Blue Streaks. Make it 26 now as the goal is scored by Ian Flynn. That's his third. Well, let's look for some other good news around Capital Athletics. The softball team is in action against Ohio Northern right now. They're leading 3-1. And that one's in the 7th inning, I believe. 3-2 in the top of the 7th. So Cap trying to close that one out with a win. Baseball's in action against the Pioneers of Marietta today. That one's not going well. 11-1. Marietta on top of Capital there. Those two teams will face off tomorrow, as well as softball and Ohio Northern tomorrow. Men's soccer will play against Baldwin Wallace here tomorrow at 2 p.m. That'll be our next broadcast. We have 15 minutes left in this one, though. 26-4. John Carroll all over Cap today. We'll be right back. Well, let's see if we can get 15 good minutes here from Cap to close things down. It is 26-4, John Carroll, as we enter the last quarter of play. A dominant performance by the Blue Streaks. And they're keeping the energy up. New goalkeeper for the Blue Streaks once again. After a good sequence there from Adam Grant, they will now turn to Johnny Wilson III, who I had identified earlier as number 20. He's number 19. And he will take over for his second game played this season. And Lake wins the faceoff here for Cap. But Cap unable to control it, and they'll turn it over. Shots in favor of John Carroll, 44-19. They're winning the turnover battle now, 17-11 as well. And actually, they're going to call a penalty as well. That's the 10th for Cap. Contact to the head, 1 minute penalty. So John Carroll makes some changes and will attempt to score on the man up once again. Gorman, who has a pair of goals today, starts it off for John Carroll. Gorman's shot, save made by McInturf, going high to make the save there. Nicely done. And a goal scored by the Blue Streaks just like that. 27-4. Man, this is just... It's literally leaving me speechless. I am shocked at the performance that they're putting together on this other side here. It's just not normal to see this kind of a score in between these two teams. It's usually a very competitive game, usually on the lower scoring side. But John Carroll has came in and made a heck of a statement in this game, and Skylar Blake has been phenomenal. Capital gets possession here with 14 minutes to play. They'll try to make something happen here. Again, playing for pride pretty much at this point. John Carroll has made a heck of a statement in this game, and Skylar Blake might score 10 goals on the other side. Shot goes wide. Sharner is closest to it. Not for a lack of hustle on the other side for John Carroll there. Another shot goes wide. Hughes is closest to it this time for Cap. Hughes from behind the net. Pass to the middle. Camella with the low shot, and he scores. So Cap gets a goal back, and Dylan Camella has been a bright spot. That's his second of the game.
Crusaders goal.
Number 7, Dylan Camella.
So Cap gets one back here in this one. Brings our score to 27-5 now. And Harris continues to battle in the face-off circle. 18 for 34 now. John Carroll on the attack now will rightfully slow things down, but they are not done from pushing their lead in this game, I promise you that. At the top of the formation here, it goes to Tanner Gill Snow, and he'll continue it along now. Down to 25 on the shot clock, as John Carroll hasn't done a whole lot of anything here. Believe they finally have taken Skylar Blake out of this game. I don't see him out there. So John Carroll has gone to their backup attackers here, and that could be part of the reason we haven't seen much of an attack at all. And they don't get a shot off. They kill 88 seconds off the clock, but don't do much with it, as Logan Collins has checked in for John Carroll. Vinny Fiorella. And trying to find the last attacker out there. It looks like Chandler Banky is the last attacker now out there for John Carroll, and they will make a substitution. Meanwhile, Capital gets the goal. So Cap with a little bit of a counterattack of their own, and they've scored the last 2 now and showing a little bit of life.
Goal number 8. Crusaders goal number 8, Nathan Montgomery.
Montgomery gets the goal there. Pause for the official who had thrown a flag for offsides against John Carroll, but that gets wiped away with the goal. And the Crusaders have shown a little bit of life here in the second half, especially here in the fourth quarter now. They have scored in each quarter, interestingly enough, but the most they've scored in every quarter has been 2. And this is the first quarter they've led in. John Carroll has the next possession for us as we enter under 10 minutes to play in a game to forget here at Bernlohr. Again, tomorrow, a reminder, we have a soccer match for you as we've had all kinds of sports in action. It's been a crazy fall with, spring I should say, with the fall sports playing and the spring sports playing. We've had soccer action, we have lacrosse action, we have football in action. It is going to be busy here at Bernlohr. And tomorrow we have a good one between Baldwin Wallace and Capital on the men's soccer side of things at the 2 o'clock Eastern time start. So get started a little bit later tomorrow, but we hope you join us for that match. John Carroll on the attack still with 10 seconds to shoot now. And the bench is telling them go. And they just lose track of time. The horn blows, and a shot clock violation there against a John Carroll team that was not organized. And part of that, with the second unit out there, expect some hiccups along the way. Camella has 2 goals for Cap. He's been the bright spot. A shot here from him. It gets blocked. Comes all the way back to the 30-yard line on this side of the field. Collected by the Crusaders. And Cap goes back on the attack. 35 seconds on the shot clock, though, as it did not get a reset. Dom Rocco keeping the sequence alive here for Cap in the defensive zone. Now Pelton walking into a shot. Walks through 2 defenders. Takes a shot and scores and gets a flag on top of it. Brandon Pelton with the goal. 27-7. And Pelton gets his second. See if this flag holds or if it's going to be wiped away by the goal. And it will be a 1-minute penalty called against John Carroll. That's Jacob Hoaxum. And so Cap enters a man up here on the faceoff and continues the momentum. So Cap gets it man up. Trailing by 20, but getting some good results here in the fourth quarter. They've now scored 3 goals, and they're +2 in the quarter. And a wraparound goal scored by Mork. From behind the net, man up. Nathan Mork scores. That's his second point of the day. And now we're seeing some Capital goal scoring. This is what we wanted to see earlier. But better late than never.
Number 1, Nathan Mork.
Mork with the goal, and that is his first of the season. First goal and first assist of the season in this one for Mork. Face-off one on the other side. Capital changing their face-off man here as they went to Mikey Collins, who was 9 of 13 entering today in the face-off circle, so he'll get a little bit of work. McInturf makes a save. He's looked pretty decent here, has McInturf. And Cap goes back to the attack once again. Shot and a goal scored. Jonathan Kilgallen with the hat trick. Collins will take the next face-off. Another goal scored by Cap.
Number 28.
Jonathan Kilgallen.
That cuts the deficit down, and he gets a fist bump from Coach on the goal-scoring effort by Kilgallen. John Carroll on the counterattack. A shot off of the post. That was ripped right off the pipe by number 2, Logan Collins. Collins getting slashed at, passes it away. We're under 4 minutes to play. John Carroll more than content to run the clock down here now. This game well within hand. They'll move to 3-0. I'm sorry, 2-1 on the new season. They lost to Baldwin Wallace. And Capital will suffer their first loss, which could shake up the standings. And another save made by McInturf. McInturf has been good in his time off the bench here. Sharner with a shot that goes wide. Mork's going to be definitely closest here. Yep, under 3 minutes to play. Mork will bring it back in. Pelton looking for a hat trick himself. That shot hit either the goalie or the pipe, and then it goes way out of play. That was a rocket off the shot there from Pelton. Pelton gets another pass, takes the shot, and it goes over. Where did that go? Oh, it went off the crossbar and way out of play. It's a reset on the shot clock. Pelton really wants that hat trick, it looks like. Hughes, who has been shut out in this game. A shot in, a save made in net. CJ Hughes' stat line, 3 shots, 2 GBs, and that's it. John Carroll on the counter. 1:30 to play. Last sequence here, potentially.
Fans are reminded at the conclusion of the game to please leave the stadium area immediately once the game is over. Thank you.
1:17 to play. There's 55 seconds on the shot clock, so about 20 seconds will be left over from Capital here for their last offensive sequence. And the day to forget will then end here at Bernlohr. And lots of lessons to be taken from this one. We'll see what
1 minute remaining in the
Capital looks like their next time out. But a lot of information gained today. If you look at it from a positive perspective, you have a lot of work that has just been laid out in front of you of what needs to be done to get to that next level. And John Carroll, sometimes you just need to tip your hat. They played one of the best games of lacrosse I've ever seen played against a really good Capital team. They made them, you know, they ran over them like it was a lower level OAC team that we see in some of the other matchups. John Carroll just throws it away into the corner with the shot clock running down. 20 seconds left, and this one will be over. Capital suffers the largest loss in franchise or program history, probably a better word. And we will see how this team responds to it later this season. This is not a team that, if these two teams played again, I think even right now, John Carroll wouldn't win this game by 18 goals. But they did today, and that's the final that's going to look in the box score today. 27-9. Capital with a good fourth quarter streak to make it look a little bit more respectable. But this was all John Carroll from the start and through about the start of the fourth quarter. The Blue Streaks were the dominant team today, and hopefully we get some information from this one to improve upon for the rest of the season. Long season, guys. We got a lot of games left here in the 2019 COVID season, or 2021 COVID season, first season since 2019. We will have men's soccer action for you tomorrow, 2 o'clock for the first kick here at Bernlohr. So please join us tomorrow, whether you're here in person or joining us on the stream once again. We thank you for your support of Capital Athletics, and we'll catch you next time.